political speech.
Before I start anything serious, I want to say a few words about myself.
Yes.
I want to tell you about something that took place in my house early on in the week. I was sitting indoors last Monday and the doorbell rang. So I went to the door and opened it, and this man was standing at the door. Of course, naturally I invited him in. I know this man. And I could describe him as a real sparkling old life. So I sat him down and we had some tea and started talking about the wedding. So he said to me, he said, are you doing the speech? So I said to him, well, I'm a bit of a novice at that point. I've never done it before. I said, and I really don't want to do it. But he said, I can give you a few tips how to do it. Well, I said, fair enough. So one of his ideas was he suggested that I should dress up in my suit, go into the bedroom, look into the mirror, and start giving the speech. See how I would perform. So, after he had left, being the Amadon that I am, I took his advice. I put on the suit, I put on the shirt, the tie, the shoes, and I went in and had my speech written out. And I stood in front of the mirror. And I started performing, reading the speech, what I was going to say today. And what happened? The whole act is integrated. Mirror, speech, and the lot. And here I am today. I've got no speech. I just have to make it up as I go along.
Love that.
Reading the news and RTE. I have to read that again. So, I'm going to start off by saying what Henry VIII said to his wife when he was getting married for the first time. For the fifth time. For the fifth time. He told her he wouldn't keep her too long. No, I don't mean to have Rory saying that there today. Speaking to you. I suppose y'all think I'm going to stand here and welcome you all and all this palaver that goes on at the wedding. It takes up so much time. Well, today, my friends, I'm breaking with tradition. I'm not going to welcome anybody here.
Cheers!
But what I am going to say, those of you who give us cash, say God bless you. Hope you don't claim it back in your second home allowance. That was the job.
He's just starting.
I had a drink with Rory this morning before we come over here. And he said to me, he said, thank God this wedding is today. I said, why do you say that? Well, he says, if it was tomorrow, he might not even bother to turn up. I'm going to say a few words about our daughter, Jacqueline. I suppose you could describe her as a Kilburn lass. She was brought up and went to school in Kilburn in her early years. And there's just two things that stand out in my mind from these early years. And one of them is when she was only about 6 or 7 years old, the school, they were doing a charity walk from Quakes Road in Kilburn up to Hampstead. So I took her up and left her up there 2 or 3 o'clock, whatever the time was. And I went back to pick her up in the evening at 6 or 7 o'clock when they come back. And as I was picking her up, this woman come over to me and she said, "You're such a handsome man." I said, "I already know that."
You are the man.
So she said to me, she says, "Is this your child? Or is this your dog?" Well, I said, "I hope it is." But she says to me, this child, she says, she's full of potential. And she has a great future ahead of her. Well, I said, "How did you work that out?" But she said, she lead us all the way, she said, from Kilburn to Hampstead. And she lead us back again. She was the leader of the pack. And she said, "This child is going to go very far." And I suppose the woman was right in a sense, because she was the first member of our family to go to university. I think, anyway.
I was there, I know.
She had that done, she travelled half the world before she come back, and she done her law schooling, and they put her in the profession that she's in today. And the second thing that I remember mostly about her was, she was only 2 or 3 years old. And I used to sit her down on the sofa in our house. And I taught her every word of the ballad of Kevin Barron. I thought to myself, maybe one day she might meet a Fina. And so it come to pass when I found out that she was going out with this bloke from the north of Ireland. I was anxious to find out which part of the north he was. So I asked her one evening when she came into the house, I said, "Right, tell me, which side of the divide is this man from?" And she turned to me and she said, "Don't worry, Dad, he's a Fenian." And so it gives me great pleasure to welcome Rory into the Burns family. And I know he's going to fit in well in our family. And the reason I say so, sometimes he must think to himself, "What a grumpy old so-and-so I am." Because sometimes when he comes into our house and I'm laying down on the sofa and he says, "Hello, Pat," or "Good evening, Pat," and I just look up at the ceiling and I grunt. And if I have a bad day up in the office, I don't grunt at all. Well, he doesn't take no notice, and he comes back the next day the same as that. Now I've known him for 2 or 3 years, and there's only one occasion that I had the hump.